Welcome to the Chronically Well podcast, where we hold real conversations with community that need to be heard. On today's episode, I have the honor of speaking with Ray. Ray is someone who I've seen a lot more frequently in the DOC, the diabetic online community, because she's active in our group chat for the Chronically Well podcast. And I truly appreciate her for joining me here and showing us her vulnerability, because we know we come from communities where a lot of times the vulnerability isn't forecast, shown, or seen. So now that we're able to gather with people, not only that look like us, but also that go through issues, concerns, health notions that we also go through, we're able to just fully be our authentic self. So Ray, I thank you for joining me here. Could you please give our audience an introduction or summary of who you are?
Well, my name is Ray. I am 35 and I live with type 1 diabetes. I also have, I'm not going to say suffer, but I have 3 autoimmune issues. I have Graves' disease, type 1 diabetes, and psoriasis that I deal with on a daily basis.
Question, where are you located? Like, what area are you?
I'm in Hartford, Connecticut.
Hartford, Connecticut. Look, I think I've been to Hartford once. Yeah,
We're not that big.
It's a known place.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hartford, I think of like Yukon.
Gotcha.
Right.
I live right up the street from the law school.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
How long have you lived with type 1 diabetes?
It is going on 13 years.
13 years. Okay. Your BDs is about to be a teenager.
Yes.
Look, you said you're 35. You've been living with type 1 for 13 years. So you lived 22 years without it.
Yes.
I understand that transition in life and lifestyle. At 22, you knew what you were going to do. You had dreams and goals you were chasing.
Mm-hmm.
And in came this big boulder that came through and said, stop, wait a minute.
I swear, I had to change my diet literally overnight. And I was determined. I'm like, you know what? I'm not letting my sugars go high. And this is before Dexcom, the Freestyle Libre, and any of that stuff that's, alerting us every day. So that's like 4 or 5 finger pricks a day. At first they started me on metformin. It didn't work. So I went straight into insulin.
So were you misdiagnosed at first?
Type 2. And then they finally realized that I had type 1. It runs in my family. It's genetic.
You have type 1 that runs in your family?
Yes.
Oh, so how many other family members do you currently know that have type 1?
I can't even count.
It's like that?
Yes. Either it's full blown or the other ones are pre-diabetic.
Okay. So pre-diabetic would be more so type 2.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have type 1 in your family as well.
The majority of us.
Oh, wow. That's new. Usually it's when I speak to someone, and I've spoken to along this platform, 100 plus people, but just me and my professional world, usually it's like 1 or 2 people, and then they can look down generations down the family tree and see maybe there was a great aunt or great uncle who died from diabetes back in the 1920s or 30s or so. Mm-hmm. But you almost grew up with a sense of like, this is something that happens in my family.
Before I turned 10, my grandmother taught me how to do injections.
Before you turned 10?
I would help my grandmother with her injections.
So that was
and that's
almost
before we had the pens. This is when we had the needles,
right.
the regular syringe.
25 years ago.
Yep.
So in like 1999.
Yep.
You were giving your grandmom injections?
Yes.
Look, most 10-year-old girls are preparing for that development into womanhood, adolescence, puberty, those things. But you were gifted an added responsibility, like how to take care of a life.
I am one of the only women in my family that's not a nurse.
Now, is that by choice? Like we have too many nurses?
No, it's just when it comes to like bodily fluids and different types of smells, I can't. So I'm in insurance.
Oh, you're in insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to have some conversations about that also. What type of insurance?
Auto, property.
Okay, more property, none not
No medical.
individual health or okay, got you. How about life?
Nope.
No. Okay,
Just
so
property and casualty.
okay, more like losses.
Yeah.
I got you. When you got your diagnosis of type 1 diabetes, did you have a sense of, oh, they're handling this, I can do this, it's nothing? Did you ever have that?
No, I basically said I can handle it because my family, they don't take care of theirs. My grandmother that had a few toes cut off.
So,
a lot of them, they don't take care of it. Older people are stuck in their ways. So it's just like, I'm not not changing my diet for nobody. And I'm just like, I didn't want to and still don't want to go through that phase. I don't want to go through dialysis or, gangrene, or where I can't feel my toes and then they got to chop them off because they're not working. Like, I don't want to go through that. So I try to make sure that, we all have a cheat day, we all mess up sometimes, but I definitely I've changed my diet so much that I'm used to eating healthy rather than eating a bunch of greasy foods or a bunch of sweets or, not checking my sugar when I'm supposed to, because I don't want to go through that.
right.
I don't want to be in a nursing home. My grandmother's in a nursing home. My granddad's in and out of nursing homes. I don't want to live like that.
Right. So since your diagnosis, you've been proactive to a point where now your family get to see you and the way that you maneuver with diabetes. Like, not only are you not hiding it today, but you're also showing them by your lived experience the things you can do. And conversations that I always see you present in our group chat is asking questions on how you can better yourself. And I already had that written down, that I got a sense of, like, Ray is somebody in the community who's not only about bettering herself, but if she's given this knowledge and education, she'll be able to re-gift it to other people.
And I do try. On my social media, I always talk about it. Like, I deactivated Facebook for a while. You got to get that cleanse of social media out sometimes. But as much as I can, I try to educate anyone, especially young people, on it, because a lot of people won't talk about it. They're like embarrassed. And it's just like, it's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Right.
Now it's time to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with almost I think everyone I've recorded with about that initial embarrassment or shame of having diabetes. And so my background as a media literacy educator and as a trauma therapist has taught me that the main reasons people feel the way they feel upon this diagnosis It's the same reason people who don't live with it feel what they feel about diabetes, because the media has never shown or told us the true meaning and reasons behind diabetes. The media forecasts what we all have thought of, like, did someone eat too much junk food? Are they living in an unhealthy lifestyle? Things like
Or
that.
they're
Like,
overweight.
right. All of those
Me,
things.
when I tell people that I'm a diabetic, the first thing they go is, "But you're so skinny."
So
And I'm
diabetes
like, "What
has
does that
nothing,
have to do with it?"
right? It has nothing to do with your BMI, your body mass index. Like, it has nothing to do with that at all. And certain types, like diabetes, type 1 cannot be prevented.
No.
Type 2 for many cannot be prevented. So most people with type 2 diabetes are insulin resistant. They take all of the measurable steps to be at their best for the most part. There's just some things that we can't stop from occurring.
And a lot of people don't think that it's chronic. And they don't even understand like the things that it does to our bodies every day or ever so often.
Right.
Like, I know when my glucose is off, because I get like very like tired, like super tired, where I don't want to get out of bed some days because my body is worn out.
Yeah.
Especially if my sugars are high.
Right. That the chronic aspect to any illness, chronic meaning that it's lingering, it's ongoing. That's what people need to know. Like, a true definition of diabetes that I would give someone is, this is a chronic illness that lingers nonstop. It is not a sugar-derived illness. It is not a carbohydrate-derived illness. It is an illness within your pancreas and your islet beta cells to where I cannot produce insulin. And then someone may go, well, I don't have insulin. And then I insert, yes, you do. All people have insulin. People who have type 1 diabetes, we cannot make insulin. People who are type 2 are insulin resistant. Their body doesn't produce enough insulin. So for when I tell them, like, your body is making insulin all the time, like with different hormonal changes, whether you're going through sickness, you're going through illness, any type of change or growth, different things within your hormones, your body is producing insulin. When you're angry, your body is producing insulin to offcut that adrenaline spike. When you're anxious, your body is producing insulin. Like, and they're like, I didn't know that, but now you do. And if people were to know those things, they would hopefully understand us more.
Right.
Yeah, because for the most part, they truly don't. And I don't put it at fault of people for not seeking that information, because there's many different things out here in this world that I don't seek the information on.
But if they're not going through it, why would they want to, seek the information, even though learning is power with anything. So, but they're just uneducated on it, and they have these misconsumptions of what we go through every day.
Do you still get those with your family members, even though so many people have lived with it?
Yeah. And it's so funny, like, my mom, she's a nurse, and I'm like, you should know all about this, but she still, she still have had her moments where she's like, oh my God, why are you so tired? You're being lazy. And I'm like, no, I know my sugars are off because I'm super exhausted for no reason.
I understand that.
Or why are you eating such and such? You should eat this. And I'm like, it doesn't really, like, if I'm eating fruit, I can eat fruit. Oh, well, you're eating too much. How are you going to tell me how much I'm supposed to eat when I know I have like my little, my scale and everything at home, like, because I really try to take it serious.
Right. You're not my dietitian or nutritionist. You need to
Right.
just be here to support me and help me.
Mhm.
If you want to be able to speak about this, learn about it. Learn about it as I learn. Let me teach you something.
Right.
But we do get that all the time. And many family members, loved ones, I mean, they love us. They love us. They truly do. But a lot of times when it comes to health, many people just truly engage with the things that they see.
Hmm.
So, like if you're watching a movie and they talk about diabetes, they never talk about like how someone got diabetes. They usually just talk about why, like this person did this, or did this or that, and down there dealing with complications. We hear more about the complications than the success stories. There's way more
Right.
success stories than there are of the alternative.
Exactly.
Like you're a
I feel like
success
I'm one
story.
of the success
Yeah,
stories.
yeah, you're a success story. 13 years. Come
Hmm.
on, let's gift you your flowers because 13 years ago you weren't planning for this. You were
No.
22 years young.
Right.
So when you were given this diagnosis, it, like we said, it altered and changed the person who you were.
Definitely.
And I mean, I'm sure from day one, you you're myself, I know 21 years ago, I did have a perceived notion that I'm going to try and do whatever I can to get rid of this, not
Right.
knowing that it wasn't something that couldn't go away at that time, in that moment.
Right. So when I was diagnosed, about 4 months after I was diagnosed, I guess I went into remission because I was like working out, I was eating healthy every day. So I kept telling my doctor, my endocrinologist, I'm like, hey, like every time I take insulin now, I'm taking too much, and you only put me on the sliding scale from 2 to 6. And he was like, well, I think it went into remission. He says, so if it comes back, come back to me. But right now, you don't have to, you could stop taking your insulin. And then I was like, what? Okay, I'm about to slack off. I'm eating my burgers. Not exercising anymore, just doing everything that I'm not supposed to do. And then I'm like, okay, I feel like it's coming back. I started getting like that sweet taste in my mouth, and I kept, I'm always thirsty again. And I'm like, yeah, it's coming back. I messed up.
DKA was setting in.
It was. That time I almost had DKA. I went to the ER, but they told me I was fine. They gave me, some, my little fluids and sent me on my way. I didn't catch my first DKA until I had COVID in 2020.
Now, when you said you were into what, your third or fourth year, you said, when the doctor, or how early were you in when the doctor said you may have been going in remission?
4 to 5 months, not
Oh,
even a
okay.
year.
So you were 4 to 5 months in. So I'm going
Hmm.
to let you know, and I'm going to let your doctor know. With type 1 diabetes, there is zero remission. Once you get it, you have it, and it's an
Hmm.
ongoing process for the rest of your life. Um, so what you were in, you were either LADA, um, latent autoimmune diabetes of adults, which is where you get the diagnosis, but you may not need as much insulin, but it will become full blown. Either that, or
Hmm.
since it was that 4 to 5 month period, you may have been in a honeymoon,
Gotcha.
going through a honeymoon phase. Most people who are diagnosed do have that honeymoon period, but most don't notice it because it's so quick.
Right.
Like that 4 to 5 month, like at month 4 and 5, you going through that. It was so quick. So you went from insulin to like not really needing insulin. Yeah, that was your beta cells, your pancreatic beta cells actually dying out.
Gotcha.
Like they had that one last kick, that one last push they were going for.
Right.
They were trying, but then all of a sudden, boom, back at it.
Exactly. Yep. So then I was like, okay, back at it. But I felt like when I was first diagnosed, like initially, I was like, yeah, I'm on it. Like I started eat. I don't even eat yogurt. I started eating like fat-free yogurt. I had a salad every day for lunch because that's what I thought I had to do.
I
And
understand.
now it's like now I know like what fatty foods are good for me and things of that nature. I eat a lot of vegetables anyways. Like I've always been like a healthy eater, but I took it really, really serious when I found out about my diabetes.
Now, being 13 years in now, has diabetes stopped you from doing things?
A lot of things, like I remember we used to have like a weekly girls wine night. I kind of strayed away from that because we would, that wine night would be a, a lot of wine, and that's all sugar. Where my levels would spike super high, and then it would be hard to get it back down. So that's one thing that I don't do. I really don't do sodas anymore. I try to stick with like seltzer. I try to stay active. Like I'll walk my dog about 4 times a day. But that's really, I mean, I haven't had to change too much besides, getting used to taking insulin every day, all day. Well, not all day, but those meal times a day, or your sugar might jump a little bit, so you want to take a little bit more. So I'm still learning as we go. And it's been 13 years.
It's a forever learning process.
Definitely. But I must say, I've learned more from your group than I have from my doctor.
Thank you.
And I feel as though that's because, honestly, they don't take African American symptoms seriously. And that's what a lot of things, besides not just diabetes, but a lot of things they do bypass on us.
Most things they bypass on us.
Yeah.
Not until we know or see someone else doing it do we even know, like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Right.
And it even just being like, if you're hospitalized, it takes so much to get those white coats to just sit down and listen to you. And
Right.
for you to truly explain the ins and outs of everything you're going through, the things you've been through. Some truly lack that empathetic side when it comes to dealing with people of color.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I truly am trying to push, not only with this podcast, but in life. Like I tell us all, I'm not just teaching and helping people with diabetes. We're planning to take on and over this world.
Right.
We will be seen. We will be noticed. We will be out there in the media, on the billboards, the ads, like everybody else, and just regular people. We don't have to be paid actors or celebrities or be these models, which they seek. I have some close friends in the type 1 space that are invited to all of these different events, that are on all these ads for Dexcom, for Omnipod, things like that. But I'll always tell them, like, if you're on that, then why aren't you bringing your people along? Like you have to bring us along in this journey, because you don't want to be the only one on that island surrounded by a bunch of people that don't look like you, that don't act like you, that can't comprehend the lifestyle that you lead or you lived. Like, that's why I've connected with this community. Like I told myself, when I started this podcast, because ahead of this podcast, I also had a couple other groups. 2019, 2020, I formed a group called the Diet Crew. It was myself, another therapist, an educator, someone who worked in social settings like with families, and we would come together to see what we can do to get resources and share these resources with the community.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, like we built this tight knit community and group or whatever. But I also stated, like, I still don't see enough people of color. And I know people in this online space that have been here for 5 to 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still like, I can't find more than 10 or 20 people of color with type 1 diabetes. And I'm like,
They're out
what?
there.
I'm like, what? I have a group that has 250 with 200 more trying to get in. And I have this group. I have an Atlanta-based group that I built because of a young lady needed insulin and wasn't able to find any. So I created an Atlanta group
Wow.
that has 50 plus people in it. I have a Philly region group from my area, like all people from this area. Like, I've created these groups because it lessens the burden.
Right.
Speaking of family, your how many siblings do you have?
I have 9 siblings.
9 siblings. So
10 of us in total.
you're one of 10.
Mm-hmm. I'm the oldest girl.
Okay. Does anyone else have any autoimmune conditions?
My brother, one of my brothers has psoriasis also. We were just talking about that last night, and he was asking me, like, how do you do this, or how do you get your skin from scaling? And I'm like, you have to use certain things, and certain things as in different types of lotions or ointments, or if it is that bad like mine gets, I'm on injections every 8 weeks, and it's a steroid injection which has changed my life a lot.
Right, because not only are you a person living with diabetes where that steroid injection will inflame those numbers, but also just compromising your immune system
Mm-hmm.
because of those injections. Yeah,
Yep, every 8 weeks.
I know many people who do have type 1 diabetes and have psoriasis.
And then I also have Graves' disease, which that runs in my dad's side very deeply.
Graves' disease also, but typically I hear more Hashimoto's. Have you been tested? So you have hyperthyroidism.
So when I first found out, it was hyper, but I got sick and with the flu, and my mom took me to the ER, and they were just going to send me home, not knowing that my mother was a nurse, and nurses they do more work than the doctor. So she's like, you guys need to test her white blood cell count. Like, and they kept telling her, we don't need to, it's just the flu. And then she's like, no, she just was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism. So they tested my white blood cells, and I only had 12.
Your
You
body
guys were just trying to send me home, and now you're rushing me to be admitted because my immune system was like, it was just, not strong enough to fight the flu.
Right, you weren't able to stage off infection.
Mm-mm. And that's when I was in the hospital. I think I was there for about 4 days before they gave me this treatment called radioactive iodine, where they basically killed my thyroid.
Did they come in the machines like they were look like they had ET and the gloves and everything?
Yep.
You are, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. You are the 4th guest I've had that have gone through this. Yes.
And I was young.
Yep. And I think they all started off with Graves, and now they all have now they all have Hashimoto's.
Yes, and I take Synthroid every morning as soon as I wake up, because you have to take it on an empty stomach. And then I
Yeah.
can't take my insulin and I can't eat anything for at least 30 minutes after I take that.
No, and I haven't heard that one from anyone.
Yes. So that's what the doctor says. They don't, basically, if you eat something after you take it before the 30 minutes, it's not going to work. It's not going to do its job.
Now, you don't still take that iodine, do you?
No, they only do that one time.
Once, right? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they
I'm
only
like,
do that one time.
all right. All right. I'm just making sure. Making sure
Yeah,
that you're making sure your medical team knows. Because
no,
like I said,
it was so bad. My eyes were bulging out of my face. I had a big goiter on my throat. People thought like, have you ever seen the movie Jawbreaker?
yeah.
Remember when they opened the trunk and she had that big jawbreaker stuck in her throat? That's what I looked like.
That's how it usually is. I have my aunt. She just recently had thyroid surgery last summer.
Oh wow.
Yep, hers was like that. Yeah, she has hypothyroidism. So yeah, everyone I know that has had Graves, like I said, it has turned into Hashimoto's.
Yeah.
And like
And me
myself,
and my twin cousin, I call her my twin because we look exactly alike, but we're cousins. We have every autoimmune, like the 3 autoimmune systems I have, she has.
so she has type 1, she has Graves, and she has psoriasis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you
and we look,
are you close?
We're like this.
Invite her to the group.
I will. She's in North Carolina.
She's in North Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
I have a cousin who's type 1 diabetic like myself, and she's in North Carolina.
Wow.
Winston-Salem.
Okay, I have family in Winston-Salem. They actually just came. They're here now. My brother and his mom.
They may know my family.
They just may, because Winston-Salem is small.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all related somehow, some way.
Exactly.
Before we move forward, I want to know, so you briefly started talking about your diagnosis story. But I wanted to do a deep dive into that, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So could you share your diagnosis story?
So basically, one day I just was super duper thirsty. I'm like, what? Like, am I not drinking enough? But I also had cravings for sugar. And I've never been the type to like drink a bunch of sugary drinks or anything. Like, I'm a water person and I've always been that way since I was a kid. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. And then I just started having to go to the bathroom so frequently, like every 20 minutes, because remember, I'm drinking all this sugar. I'm drinking brisk and lemonade and sweet tea, like everything that you could think of that had the most sugar in it, I was drinking it. So this was going on for like 2 weeks, where I'm frequently going to the bathroom like every 20 minutes. I'm waking up out of my sleep to go to the bathroom. So my mom's like, well, I think you need to make a doctor's appointment because that's not normal. So I make this emergency appointment with my doctor. Like, I was getting in trouble at work. Let me just go back. I was getting in trouble at work because I was going to the bathroom so much. And I'm like, well, I can't help it. Like, I don't want to pee on myself at my desk. So I made the emergency appointment, and my doctor goes, well, you know what? Let me test your blood sugar. So I'm like, for what? Like, I'm not thinking that it's going to be high. It was so high that the doctor was surprised I wasn't going into a DKA and that I wasn't in the emergency room. She's like, well, how do you feel? I'm like, I feel normal. I'm just peeing a lot and I'm super thirsty. So that's when she told me, like, I think you have type 1 diabetes. I'm going to, refer you to an endocrinologist. And that's when we made that final diagnosis. But she started me on the metformin, which was not bringing my levels down at all. So
Right.
about 2 to 3 weeks later, I was on full-blown insulin.
Yeah, most general practitioners will start someone off on metformin, hoping
Mm-hmm.
and thinking that they're type 2,
Yes.
because general practitioners typically can't or don't work with type 1 diabetic patients.
Right.
Right. So you were getting in trouble at work for using a bathroom.
I mean, I was going to the bathroom every 10 to 20 minutes.
That has me thinking like I'm thinking about being in elementary school or middle school. Matter of fact,
Yeah,
no,
that's
middle
how.
school, because middle school was the time when we had to leave class.
Well, the thing was, I worked for a call center. I've been a
Okay, I
claims
got
rep since I was 21. So I'm working and I have all these calls coming in and all these calls that I have to make, but I'm hardly at my desk because I'm walking, and then the bathroom was so far away from my desk. So it took me at least, a good 2 minutes to get to the bathroom, go to the bathroom, and take me a good 2 to 3 minutes to walk back to my desk. And I'm doing this almost every half an hour.
But you still do that same type of work.
Yeah.
Does it now? I have to ask, even though you're 13 years in, at sometimes do you like sit there and be like, I don't want to
No,
have to, I don't go, I'm not going to go, I'm going to hold off on it.
I can't hold off. My bladder is so weak now, and I feel like it's been weak from then. That's how I know when my sugar's high.
And when you say high,
Because
you mean high.
honestly, it happens like in the 200s for me.
That's normal.
Mm-hmm.
We over time we train our bodies as we should to be able to notice
Mm-hmm.
those highs. Highs are more easily noticeable than lows.
You think so?
Definitely. Not severe lows, but just trending level.
Right. You're right. Yep.
Because at times you can be 60 and still be outside, like playing around because you have this boost of adrenaline. That
Mm-hmm.
adrenaline would automatically boost your glucose levels.
Yep.
So your liver automatically responds with glucagon,
Mm-hmm.
and it will help you move forward. That's why
Got you.
a lot of times when people suffer severe lows, like at night, yeah, I know that's the most dreadful thing ever.
Oh my goodness. I sleep with my apple juice next to my bed now.
Oh, we should.
I even have a mini fridge in my bedroom.
That's a preventative measure.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do those things.
Especially because I live alone. And my dog can't tell me like, hey, let me help. My cat can't say, hey, mom, let me help you. So yeah,
I got you. But how old is your dog?
he is 6 years old and he knows when my glucose is high because he sticks to me like glue.
He can
He
smell
won't
it.
yeah, he won't play with the cat. He won't go eat. And even when I'm at a low, he knows.
Yeah.
And I didn't train him to do that.
So upon your initial diagnosis, you weren't hospitalized.
No,
So
no.
it's because of that original general practitioner doctor prescribed you that metformin,
Yeah.
thinking like it would be okay. By the time you got to the endocrinologist before they gave you insulin,
Mm-hmm.
how high was your blood sugar?
It was so high that the meter couldn't read it.
Yeah, that metformin for you was just like taking a sugar pill.
Basically.
I remember 2009, I believe, I had got a new doctor and I told him, I said, I know that I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I had the initial testing and everything. I said, but I know I got a family history of type 2. I said, I always wanted to make sure because like I couldn't read the sciences of it back then.
Mhm.
And he was like, "You want to try metformin?" I said, "Sure." I tried that. He was like, he's like, "You'll notice if it works." He's like, "If not, it'll be just like taking a sugar pill." I tried
Yeah.
that thing for a couple of days. I said, "This is trash."
Until this day, I'm so surprised that they didn't put me in a hospital.
Yeah.
I remember last year, I went to, a regular appointment and I felt fine. Didn't know I was going into a DKA. I literally went to my appointment during my lunch break. And my doctor said, you need to go to the hospital right now. Don't go back to work. Go up, go up the hill to the emergency room because you're going into a DKA. You have it's a lot of ketones in your urine.
Were
Didn't
you
even know.
were you using technology then?
No, that's why they gave me technology from
Okay.
that appointment.
Oh, so you're still in your infancy stage. You're still like
Yeah,
a year. When did you first get sensor?
July of last year.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like you're not even at your terrible twos yet.
Right.
You still getting used to this thing called life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole
I
new
mean,
retraining
it
process.
it's definitely changed the way I look at diabetes because I'm not, pricking myself all the time like I normally, when you didn't
Mhm.
have this, you had to prick yourself at least 5 times a day. But now it's just like, all right, it's beeping. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what my levels really are because sometimes it is off. So
Right.
that is something that I am getting used to.
Okay. Now, did it take some getting used to from your family, friends, seeing you with this device?
Not really. I mean, the kids like, what's that on your arm? Like, and you got to explain to them, like, it's there to help me so I can eat enough. That's what I tell them.
Right. Now, do you notice now that you have that technology that there are other things that increase your blood sugar other than food?
Yeah. Like when I'm stressed out,
You turn into the red panda.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's why I shoot for when people are diagnosed, which you weren't formally diagnosed until a little bit later.
Mhm.
Like so when you're diagnosed with this chronic health condition, you should be gifted the opportunity to see emotional well-being therapists, psychotherapists, because this is a traumatic experience.
A very traumatic experience. I see a therapist once a week. I even see a psychiatrist once a month because diabetes has put me in a very bad depression over the past, I'd say last year was like the worst year for me. I went into DKA, I would say 8 times.
And that was with or without technology.
Both.
Now, have you been able to keep a track of when you went in DKA, and do you know what led up to that at all?
So my doctor, my psychiatrist and my therapist diagnosed me with something called PMDD. So it's basically PMS on steroids. And I noticed that every month, about 2 weeks before my menstrual, I would go into this deep, deep depression and this deep, like I would be so mean to everybody. And it came to the point where I wouldn't take care of my diabetes because I don't even want to get out of my bed. And then I didn't want to eat. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to take insulin if I'm not eating. But it still made my glucose go super duper high because I wasn't ingesting any insulin. And that's when I would go into a DKA.
You weren't injecting insulin.
No.
What's the main reason
Like,
behind that?
because I wasn't eating.
But
And my doctor would tell me, you still have to take your long acting just so that you can have insulin in your body.
so are you telling me that you were 12 years in as a diabetic and that was new information to you?
Yes.
Speak on it, because I'm going to tell you right now, Ray, I've had over the last week, I've had more conversations about this with young people than I've had in the 10 plus years that I've been doing this type of work. Young people that are like, they'll come to me, even people in the group, and they're like, I feel sick. And I'm like, first thing I ask, have you been taking your insulin? And they're like, well, I haven't been eating much, so I haven't been taking my insulin. And I'm like, but our bodies don't produce insulin. As I said previously, our insulin is reactive to the different hormonal changes we go through, even before the consumption of carbohydrates. Our bodies are going through different hormonal changes 24/7. I said, you need insulin for that. And they're like, why? I said, again, our bodies need insulin. People who are not insulin dependent, their bodies automatically react to the insulin.
Right.
That's something that's missed always upon diagnosis. And it was missed for you.
Yeah, definitely.
They didn't tell you that. And
until last year.
That's crazy. They think that they think that we'll learn it as we live through it. But if we don't learn it as we live through it, it can lead to things such as DKA. And that can lead to death.
Yes, I almost died last year also.
Because it's the equivalent of insulin rationing. You're not giving yourself the insulin that's needed just to stay alive. That background insulin. I just spoke with someone last week, and she truly couldn't understand that about the background insulin. She was like, well, and I've been talking to her probably for the last month, trying to make sure that she's on the right track with it. And now she's taking that background insulin every day because she was skipping it and wondering why her blood sugars are always upwards of 300-400. And I'm glad to have a conversation here with you about that, because me saying it as just one individual is just one individual.
Right.
But you have that lived experience. And you know now today.
Listen, have you ever woken up from a diabetic coma?
I have never been in a diabetic coma.
I was coming down with the flu last year in October. I didn't know that you should take extra insulin, so I'm still eating, my soup, and I'm drinking my orange juice to have that, vitamin C, and I slowly faded into a DKA and didn't even notice. I was becoming delirious. I don't remember a few days where I was speaking on the phone to people and they were like, are you drunk? Were you drinking? And I don't remember that, but they're telling me like, yeah, I didn't know it was wrong with you. I thought you were like drunk or drinking because you weren't making sense. And I'm like, I don't remember. And I don't even remember like getting out of my bed to go to the bathroom. So I guess they didn't hear from me for like 2 days. And my cousin ended up calling and doing a wellness check. And the doctor said if they didn't find me on my floor in my own bodily fluids within the next 24 hours that they did that wellness check, that I would have been dead. When I woke up from that coma, I thought I drove myself to the hospital. And my cousin was like, no, you don't know what happened? And I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, Ray, I had to call and do a wellness check on you. You were almost dead. The ambulance didn't take enough notes and we lost you for a couple days. We didn't know where you were. I was right at the hospital up the street from my house. But they're like, we didn't know where you were for a few days. Your mom drove all the way from Swedesboro, New Jersey, which is about a 4-hour drive. It was really, really bad. And I remember I don't know if it was a dream or what, but I knew my mother was here. I knew she was here and she was talking to me, but I couldn't wake up. I woke up, my words weren't making sense. I couldn't even form a sentence. I didn't know how to spell things correctly. It was horrible. It's nothing that I would ever want to go through again. And that's why I take my health even more seriously now. That's something that I would never, ever, ever. I wouldn't want anybody to experience that on their own.
Today, you're gifted the platform to be able to share your story, because
Yes.
with you sharing this story, it will help reach other people.
I hope so.
It will, Ray. I'm telling you.
And the thing is, I'm always an open book. I don't mind sharing my life story because I wouldn't want anybody to go through the things that I went through, especially with diabetes.
Right.
And the thing is, DKA is preventable. Getting sick is preventable. Like getting sick from diabetes, you can prevent all of it if you just take the time and listen to somebody that's been through it or read about it. And I mean, who wants to read about it? It's better when it's coming from someone who's went through it.
You've not only gone through it and lived through it, but you've come out on top.
Hearing that you could have been dead within 24 hours, that's a whole different feeling. I can't even explain it.
I've been told that on many occasions about that. If someone didn't come to me at that time, even dating back 2019, my daughter, who's 13 now, she was going on 7. It was in the summertime. And she found me unconscious in the bathroom in her home because she had to use the bathroom and she couldn't open the door because my foot was I was on the ground and my foot was against the door and she couldn't push open the door. And she found me right there. And later on, after my wife came home and called 911, everything, the neighbors across the street, 2 guys had to come out and move me out of the bathroom. Wow. Down the steps. And my daughter actually told my wife then and there, I don't know what I would do without him. And I told her, you saved my life, baby girl. Yeah. And these are the true stories that people need to hear.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go through that. Sometimes it takes that life-altering move to change you. Because a lot of people, when they are diagnosed with something, a lot of people do feel defeated. And at the same time, a lot of people do feel as though I'm young, I'm strong, I can fight through anything. You can fight through anything, but don't try to fight through this when you have the measurable steps to prevent it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's so much out here now that helping prevent the DKAs or helping prevent the sicknesses that come with diabetes. But it's just people don't want to I feel as though some people are embarrassed with the Dexcom or the Omnipod. I will show mine off completely. I'm still going to wear my nice little sundresses. I don't care if that's out. My brother took my dog out, but my dog is so attached to me by the hip, he can smell me in the car. So he's like out my door. But no, yeah, like it's so many things that prevent highs and lows. Like they got the glucose tablets now, they got the ketone strips, you got your Dexcoms, like your CGMs, you have your Omnipods and, everything. I'm actually scheduled next week to get my Omnipod.
Yep, to get your training.
Mm-hmm.
I have that on this note because
I'm excited about it.
And I'm excited for you. And it took me about 18 years and before I transitioned to an insulin pump.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I felt as though, I knew that I was doing good. I was at my best. Not until I actually got that technology, got the insulin pump, that I realized that, let's say, like yourself, to prevent DKA, you always have this basal insulin running through your body, through the insulin pump. It's not like you can't forget to give yourself that insulin. I don't know if you've gone through any training, but if you have any questions regarding the insulin pump, I'm here. I got the answers.
Oh, and I'll definitely be asking.
Right. So,
like I told you, I've learned more from you guys than I've learned from a doctor. I didn't know what basal was. I didn't know what calibrating your your
CGM
meter to your CGM. I didn't know any of that. I was like yesterday. Remember, I thought I was low all day until I poked myself with my regular meter, and I was above 500.
And you did order that meter?
Yes, I did. As soon as you posted that link, I also sent it to my best friend because her husband, I think he's type 2, but he doesn't even like doing the finger prick. And she's like, no, you're going to do this. Mm-hmm. So she ordered that for him yesterday because you posted that link for us. Do you think my doctor would give me a link saying, hey, here's a free meter? Mm-hmm. No.
Well, the links that I share, so I also share links with, like, if I see someone in our group that's taking the initiative of like being a leader, and I can see how they're serving and helping others. And I was taking a look at you a couple of days ago because I shared some information with 2 people in our group. You probably can guess who they are. And I shared this information with them. I said, because you're taking the initiative, the leadership steps to help people out on a regular. So I'm going to give you these resources so that you can become certified as a global health leader in diabetes management.
You can definitely send me those in the private DM too. Mm-hmm. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Because this is what I've been trying to do for the past year. But, social media to me is a popularity contest. So if you're not really that popular or you're not an influencer who's sharing these success stories, you're not going to get anywhere because people don't want to hear the depressing side of it. They just want to hear the up. And it's just like, you don't know that you do have to go to training for some of these the technology or some of these devices. Like, I'm not going to be able to wear an Omnipod and know exactly what I'm doing when I get it. But they don't share that part. They just share like, oh, life is so great now. Like, okay, but share the part where you had to talk to your doctor about getting this, or, you had to sit with them to get that training on putting it on or where to put it. So that's the person that I want to be.
I'm never going to gatekeep any information. Mm-hmm. I'm always going to share the resources, if anyone's having trouble accessing insulin technology, whatever, I share the resources. Because
I remember last year when I had private insurance through the company I was working for. And remember, I said I went into DKA at least 8 times last year. So they were waiting for me to get back to work and get off the short-term disability so they could find any reason to let me go. And it was just crazy to me because I'm just like, now when I'm working, I didn't have the money. So I got fired. But before I got fired, I had private insurance. When I got out of the hospital, I didn't have no money to get my insulin. And there was no help. I had to muster up this $30 because when I was on short-term disability, I didn't have any income coming in. And my savings went to bills because when I get out the hospital, I still need a roof over my head. And I'm doing this alone. And I had to reach out to numerous friends and numerous family members because I needed my long acting and I needed my short acting. So that's $60 that I really didn't have. And I had to come up with this. And thank God for a friend of mine who said, okay, well, what are we going to do so that you don't go back into a DKA and we're not coming to the hospital to see you? I'll pay for it.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'm just like, insulin needs to be free. No matter if it's private insurance, no matter if it's Medicaid, Medicare, insulin should always be free for anybody.
Right. And it's a simple question. Do you want us to live or do you want us to die? If you want us to live.
If we were a different color, trust me, they would figure out a way.
If you want us to live, then you'll provide this insulin for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's the equivalent of everything else that's needed and that's provided. Like I tell people, your body's pumping blood all day, every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the oxygen needed, right? Yeah. I lack the insulin that's needed. I need this insulin. I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Without it, it's the inevitable. Just like I shared a post from someone, a post that was on Twitter where a young lady was talking about people not understanding type 1 diabetes and how that if we weren't manually doing the things that we did, we wouldn't be alive. Like, that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
If we weren't given the insulin, if we weren't checking our blood sugar, we wouldn't be here.
No, not at all.
We're
not
like,
at all.
The young lady was like, literally, I'm my own life support. And that's something that people on the outside don't see.
Mm-hmm.
They see us as, oh, they got it. They're learning it. We don't want to.
Right.
This isn't something that we choose. It's
right. I didn't go to school to be a diabetic, you know?
Not at all. I didn't grow up thinking I was going to become a diabetic.
No, especially with type 1. This is like the hardest to deal with. This is a lot worse than type 2.
Some consider it the hardest chronic health condition to deal with because it's nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And we're depending on ourselves.
They keep going to remission. I have my mom's friend has lupus. She tells me all the time, like, I don't know how you do it.
Right. Like when I talk,
she said, I have a pain crisis, and I don't have to deal with that every day.
Yeah, I no longer tell people that it's 24/7. I tell them it's non-stop. Like even when we're asleep, we're going through it. And that takes me back to like you shared twice. You were asking about your basal insulin, and like I say, like it looks A1 to me, except for you get this one peak. I want to say it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. Like you get like your basal is pretty steady, and then you get this one peak, and I'm like, if you had an insulin pump, you'd be able to eliminate that peak,
right?
Because you would know that your body is experiencing some kind of hormonal change at that time. So it's not, if the peak happens at 3 or 4 in the morning, that means that change is happening 2 hours ahead. So 1 to 2. So you would just increase your basal at that time. So let's say, I don't know, what do you use now? Lantus, Traceba?
I have Lantus.
Let's say you use 26 units or so per day.
I do. I actually do use 26 units.
I always get this right. It's crazy. I always do. Let's say you get 26 units per day. Funny. So at 1 a.m., your basal profile and your pump, you can increase it to about 1.5 or 2 units. So just for that one time, it will give you a little more because your body is naturally going through that hormonal change at that time.
Got you.
And it will take away that peak. But also with the insulin pump, there are some things you do need to be wary about. Pay attention to your tubing, your cannula. Make sure that it's not leaking. So you want to keep a track of your glucose, your continuous glucose monitor. Whenever you see your blood sugar rising for no reason, then you know, let me take a look to make sure nothing's leaking. Making sure I have no occlusion. Make sure nothing's blocked. That's something a lot of people, once they start technology, they just like throw out all of the old school measures. Nah, you got to also keep a check of those numbers.
I'm telling you, I feel like old school measures they're not better because they're not as fast as we move these days, but they're more accurate.
Right. They're needed. I do understand
like
why.
Yesterday.
Go ahead. Yesterday with that finger prick.
Yeah, I was like, OMG, because when I tell you, you know how that Dexcom keeps going off and is loud, and I'm just like, okay, something is not right.
Now, did you send in for your replacement?
No, I'm gonna call them today.
I'm not calling anybody.
Yesterday they made me so angry. I'm like, okay, I don't want to speak to nobody at all.
I stopped calling Dexcom like 2 years ago. So I just go into settings, click contact, and report an issue. You can actually do that.
Okay.
So settings, contact, click report issue, and just report what the issue is. Just know if you report that your sensor not failed, but your sensor fell off, they'll only allow you to report that 3 times. They'll only allow 3 replacements for that. But just report like the error that you have. Like my finger stick said that I was at this number. Dexcom kept saying I was low. Then I ended up high. And they'll replace that. No question.
Yep, I'll definitely do that as soon as we're done here.
Before we do go, I did want to share some information with you that I did write down. So upon your diagnosis, you said like you were drinking like lemonade and stuff. So there is a connection between going into DKA or high blood sugar and acid. A lot of people crave things such as lemonade, vinegar, a lot of acidic things.
Gotcha.
I remember before I was diagnosed, lemonade nonstop. I live not too far from a McDonald's, and I used to go fill up that big cup with lemonade.
Yes, I was going because McDonald's was actually right around the corner from my house at the time. And I didn't even have to drive. I could take that little 5-minute walk. And I was like, yep, give me the extra large cup. Fill it up with sweet tea or lemonade.
And another thing, let your medical team know that when you do get your pump, to put the settings at the lowest.
Okay.
So the lowest Omnipod can go is 110. That's for its automated insulin delivery. Tell them to keep it at the lowest. There's no need to put your Omnipod settings at 120, 130, 140, 150.
Okay.
Because we want to stay in that normal range.
Right.
If it's set to 130, 140, 150, eventually it'll go to 180, 190, like 200. Like, you want to stay as close to that non-diabetic range, even though at times you will go up, but it will automatically try to prevent you from going there. It will also automatically prevent you from going low. So I must ask, is there anything we didn't cover during this recording that you want to cover? Anything? Because I do have like some notes that questions I typically ask, but I feel as though for the most part we've covered a lot. But
we did.
I do want, has diabetes affected any of your relationships?
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to expound on that?
Yeah, I just recently had a breakup because he didn't understand, the things that I go through as a diabetic and how it does affect me when my sugars are low. Like, he's like, oh, you have an attitude? And I'm like, bro, my sugar's really low. Like, can you at least help me? Or some nights he didn't want to get up knowing that I could barely see because I'm low. And it was just like, that's not healthy for me to have a partner that's not helping me the way I would help them. Even with friendships, like, oh, you can't drink with us? No, my sugar's high. No, not today.
Right. I'm not throwing up a diabetes card. This is my reality.
No. Or like, if I go out to eat, why are you getting up to go to the bathroom? I have to take my insulin and I don't want to be inconsiderate poking myself at a table.
Next time. Right there at the table.
Next time.
Dude, yeah. Have you been to any diabetic meetups?
No, not yet. The last meetup I was supposed to join, I was in the hospital.
Right. So there's a big one going on. That's September 21st in New York City.
I'm only 2 hours away.
It's a huge one. The person who throws it, her name is Laura. She's from out in California, but she throws them all around the world. And her meetups are usually like huge events. They're great for networking. So if you follow her on Instagram, it's You're Just My Type. Yeah, that's her Instagram. You're Just My Type.
I'm definitely going to follow her.
I will. I do want. So since your diagnosis, you did say your life has changed a bit. Mm-hmm. Have you been able to regain some of those things, though, like that you may have missed? Because early on in our diagnosis, I do let people know this, especially in that first couple years, up until like at least year 5, maybe. Like, we don't truly understand the ins and outs, the hormonal changes and imbalances that our body are going through. So we don't even realize, like, oh, I'm getting angry because of this. I'm exhausted because of this. Like, we try to fight through so many things.
Yeah, for a long time with my family, because after that initial, like, I don't need the insulin anymore, so when I needed it, my family didn't understand that it's not about being lazy when you're tired or exhausted to the point where it's just like, today, life is life in today, and I'm tired, and I'm just going to stay home, and I'm going to stay, it really brought me into a depression back then, because I'm just like, damn, everybody keeps telling me that I'm being lazy, but it's not me being lazy. It's literally that my body has no energy.
Right.
So I've learned a lot of social things when it comes to diabetes. Like, again, people don't understand because they're not living with it.
Right. A lot of people don't understand, like, insulin is used to break down the carbohydrates so that we can use them for energy. Mm-hmm. That's what it's used for. If our body is lacking insulin, then it can't happen.
Right.
If our body has too much insulin, it can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that being able to give you this platform, you'll be able to just share a link, send it to your
Oh, I
family,
will.
send it to them. Be like, these are my truths.
Mm-hmm.
These are my truths. Like, and this is something that they should know or get to
Right.
know, especially if you love me. I remember
Mm-hmm.
like doing Facebook posts about that. Like, if you love me, take some time out just to listen to this story.
Right.
Um, have you ever, Ray? It's been 13 years. You were diagnosed at the young age of 21, right? Where you
22.
22,
Same thing.
out partying, life,
Mm-hmm.
life was lifing. You was enjoying every second, every moment. You were bionic,
Mm-hmm.
invincible, invincible. Nothing was able to break you, right?
Right.
You was able to storm through whatever. You probably was
I
able to
was
take
going.
long road trips
Mm-hmm.
without all the added baggage.
Right.
Having to phone a friend, like I'm on the side of the road, it ain't working. Diabetes is acting up.
Right.
So many things you were able to do in those years, and I truly hope that today you're on a path or on a journey to becoming the your best, the person who you truly
Right.
want to become. And I hope that if you need any guidance or support along that journey, I'm able to gift you that, help you with that by building a community.
Mm-hmm.
But I must ask, even though we love our people in this community, on the day a cure is here, no question. I speak this into existence.
Definitely.
On the day a full cure is here, and we're all cured of diabetes, of this life altering, mind altering chronic health condition. On that day, Ray, what do you do?
I'm going to get the. I'm going to get this cure. No one wants to live with restrictions or being sick all the time. I love my community because you guys have taught me so much. But I'm gonna listen. Oh gosh, you guys, look, they have a cure. Let's go. Let's go stand in that line. I
Look,
don't think anybody wants to live with this for the rest of their lives.
they wrapped around the building for the COVID shot. Let's go.
Right.
Let's wrap around this building. Let's.
And I do think that I don't know if it's going to be in our lifetime, but if they found a partial cure for AIDS and HIV, they have to find one for us.
They will. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the studies and the results where people have been able to live without insulin for upwards of 5 to 6 years now through these
Wow.
studies. They're happening, and I'll share these resources with you. It's just going to take time for more clinical trials and studies to make sure that, okay, after 10 years, to make sure that something else doesn't occur.
Right.
To make sure that these people are able to continue living full, healthy lives. But look, I'm 41 today. Give me 5 to 6 years.
Right. I'll take it.
I'll take it with the risk. Like I'm serious. Word on everything. I'll take it with the risk because just to know that I don't have to think about this at all.
Or carry my insulin cooling pouch.
At all. Ray, on that day that a cure is here, we all lining up and we all celebrating together. We all gonna have a party where we light some insulin on fire.
Listen,
Like,
and
is
eat
this thing
some junk
flammable?
food.
Look, just celebrate life like how you were 22, I was 20. Celebrate life like how we were supposed to.
Right.
And then we still gonna act like how we act towards our family because y'all should have still got to know this.
Right, exactly.
So, Bray, Is there anything we didn't cover that you want covered?
I think we went over everything today.
All right, Ray, I truly appreciate you for joining me on this journey that is the Chronically Well podcast, where we have real conversation with community that need to be heard. And Ray, you are someone that truly needs to be heard.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
You too.